Once again, a very good afternoon to you, Sujo, Koso, as well as to the viewers at home. Of course, we are edging up so closer to kick-off for that Nedbank Cup last 32 round. A game between, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns will be taking on Sibanye Golden Stars, a team that's playing in the ABC Motsepe League out in the Free State. Joining me now to dissect the Sundowns team that we've seen and more is TimesLive senior reporter Mahlatse Mphahlele. Thank you so much for your time, Mahlatse. Let's speak about the team sheet. Before we get to the team sheet, the person that set the team sheet, Miguel Cardoso, just over a month now in charge of Mamelodi Sundowns, about a decade of local coaches before him. He's come in. What have you seen differently from his footprint or his game plan? Let's put it like that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think there hasn't been too much difference, to be honest. Obviously, I mean, he's sort of operating with the same players that have been there before, bar maybe one or two. The style of play, not that much of difference from what we saw with Coach Mangomti. Obviously, from Coach Mangomti up to where we are now, honestly, there has been quite a move away from the way the team played under Coach Yolulwe. So you can say they've taken a different direction. They are more direct now. Under Coach Pitso and under Coach Yolulwe, Sundowns used to be a ball-playing team, but that's not the case anymore. I guess with the current coach now, it may be an issue of maybe, as you just said, now he's not been here for too long. An issue of getting to understand the league, an issue of getting to understand the players, and really, getting to know the players and making sure that they play the way he wants to play. But from what I've seen, they don't play like Sundowns. Sundowns. If you go back to the olden days, the Shannon piano story and all that kind of thing. But I think they need to give this guy a chance and see how far he can go. I mean, they've started well in the league. They are still in the Nedbank Cup now. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen today. We also don't know how far they'll go in the Champions League. Still early days. Let's see how far he goes, and we'll take things from there. But for now, I would say so far so good. Yeah.
Speaking about the changes, of course, a lot of people getting chances as well today. We've seen likes of Yolulwe coming here, Johannes getting his debut as well. Is that a sign that he's still also trying to see some of the players that he hasn't had a chance to see because of how tough the schedule has been, the CAF, as well as the league campaigns? Now he's got an opening. And now what do those players that come in have to prove in order to get into his regular side?
And I mean, he said it during the week at the press conference leading up to this match about how punishing the schedule has been. But obviously, that does not only affect Sundowns; it affects pretty much all the teams. Pirates involved, Stellenbosch involved, because they're on the continent. But they have a lot of players. I mean, you have just said now we are well into the season, but a player like Kigen Johannes is making his debut. You can see even the Sundowns fans are quite excited to see.
You also want to make a debut for him.
I think the guy was there to make a comment, But yeah, I mean, it's a Sundowns is always a team that is always at depth. Most of the players have not played. Some of the guys are out on loan. I mean, if you can check on the team now, Johannes is making his debut. Ndunyana is coming back. You have got Tarik Murisu, who normally doesn't get starting places. Mashieko, Letlaku, Maema, Atasales. Those are the players that ordinarily, if he were to go for his strongest lineup, they would not find themselves in the starting 11. It shows that there is depth, but with depth, as we have already indicated, players want to play all the time, and sometimes you find problems in the camp if players are not playing. But you have got to understand that in a big team like this, if the coach does not want to rotate much, most of the players will be sitting on the bench. And here, the so-called lesser players in the team have been given an opportunity. They better not make a mess of this, because if they lose here, they will have losses to a small team, and that will become a massive embarrassment for them. But this is quality, this is experience. Most of them have been on the continent, even though they have not played that much. And I think they should have enough in the tank to be able to beat this small team and advance to the next round of the competition.
Speak about the continent brings me to a question of the hierarchy of this competition. We know the priority for Sundowns is to stamp the authority on the continent, win a game for the first time since 2016. But also in terms of local competitions, they've not won a local cup since 2022. Last year went out having scored its first in the final against Orlando Pirates. Is that type of hoodoo locally making this tournament even more important for them to be able to break that hoodoo as well?
Yeah, I think it goes without saying now. If you are a club like Sundowns and you are watching Pirates winning everything and you are not winning, I mean domestically, the fans starts becoming a little bit edgy. You are right, Sundowns have not won a domestic tournament in a while. This is an opportunity for them to do so. They missed out in the M10-8. The M10-8 is generally an easy tournament to win because you don't need to play too many games to win, but also it can be tricky because it's at the beginning of the season. But with this Nedbank, I think they will be under a little bit of pressure to win. But the big fish, as you know, for Sundowns remains the Champions League. Also there, they've not won it since 2016. They've been to the 2 semi-finals over the last 2 years. They've come very close. This year, I just don't know, because if you look at the teams that are remaining in the tournament, in the knockout stages, are very, very difficult teams. And Sundowns, as we've already said earlier on, they're a team that is very much in transition. And if you're in transition, it may be a little bit difficult when you get to the Champions League on stages. But domestically, if they don't win this one, there may be challenges. And also, you see, Pirates are coming in the league. So it's not going to be easy for them. But they are an experienced side. They've got experienced players who have done it many times before. And I think they should have enough men to be competitive on both fronts.
Experience. They've added experience. Jaden Adams, Bafana International, bronze medal winner at AFCON. He comes on team with already a plethora of midfield options. When you look at the player that he is, what do you think he adds to a Sundowns team going forward? And who are some of those players that might feel hard done by with another addition in a very congested Sundowns midfield?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a player who's playing in that sort of left side, that attacking position for Sundowns, I'll be disgruntled because they just keep on coming. But to really understand the value of Jaden Adams, you need to speak to Stellenbosch because they know that they are losing a highly talented footballer. It was no surprise that he caught the eye of the national team coach, Hugo Bruce, taking him to AFCON. He's a very, very good young footballer. Hopefully he will get chances to play here because, as you have just mentioned, I mean, if you look at that left-sided position in Sundowns, you still have Terence Macho, who does not normally get chances to play. So there's a lot of them. There's competition. And he will really have to get in there and do the business. And I think we also have to be honest with him. There's been issues around him in terms of behavior. He needs to tighten things up. He needs to be more professional. At Sundowns, stuff like that players like that don't do well. He needs to come here, leave the other stuff aside and focus on the football. And if he does that and get opportunities, I've got no doubt that he will be a massive player for the club and for the country.
Lastly, sounds like a tall order. Any chance of a David versus Goliath, or are we more closer to a Power Lines FC score back in the days, the 24-0? Where do you see this one going?
You know, we went to FNB not so long ago for Chiefs and Melfort, and I mean, you know what happened there. So teams like this are very tricky. If you didn't prepare well, if you are not focused on the day, they can embarrass you. The Sundowns players will know that you have to be serious. As we have already indicated, the importance of them going deep into this tournament and trying to win it because they have not won a cup in a while. I don't think that Sibanye can beat Sundowns, but as they say in football, anything is possible. But if you were to press me, I think Sundowns will win comfortably.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Mphahlele. I really appreciate your input.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was also, of course, Mr. Mphahlele speaking about the prospects of this Mamelodi Sundowns team. A team that sees a couple of changes in terms of personnel in the team. A lot of our players getting the opportunities to show Coach Miguel Cardoso what they are capable of. And maybe this is the stage for them to properly showcase themselves without too much pressure, playing against a team that is in the amateur ranks of football in South African circles. But as Mr. Mphahlele said, that also does come with its own element of pressure. As if you make one wrong move and they lose today, the negative headlines are coming towards Sundowns, and that's not what Mr. Cardoso will want as he begins to get into his journey as the Mamelodi Sundowns coach. Back to you, studio.
Yolulwe Qoshe bringing us the latest from Loftus Versfeld as we continue to build up to that David versus Goliath match. Mamelodi Sundowns taking on Sibanye Golden Stars. That match kicking off at 6 o'clock. That's where we leave it for the Sport for Newsfeed PM. Thabo Mdluli to take you home.